Hey folks, how are you? I'm coming live to you from the Skift Asia Forum venue. This is the Southeast Station that's there. And so I'm not going to talk about Skift Asia Forum, which is starting tonight and tomorrow, but what Airbnb launched and how important what's happening with Airbnb is. And there's been a lot of, we did a story, we'll do more stories. There's been a lot of discussion on what Airbnb's expansion is over the next sort of $1 billion different things that it wants to $1 billion new businesses that it wants to go beyond the main business that they have. But if you know Brian Chesky, and I've interviewed him many times, and I've met him many times, and if you sort of read the thing that he's trying to do, and it's this thing that I sort of empathize with, is founders that are driven like him are always on this search. Depends on who the person is, what they're searching for. Many times they don't even know that. With Brian, I've talked to him enough. I sort of know the archetype of the Silicon Valley founder. I also know the prototype. The thing that he's searching for is this loneliness that he's talked about a lot, particularly during COVID, and how to forge human connection. He didn't, obviously, when Airbnb was starting, that was the kernel of it, of like the host and the guest connection. And he's sort of expanded into ideas. He's grown, and he has, you could do all the business analysis you want, but he is, the experiences were a manifestation of his need to overcome probably his loneliness, especially of somebody of his stature at the level he is. There's a lot of loneliness involved. I understand that in my own small, tiny way. As a founder, CEO of a company, he's obviously, $100 billion plus type company, valuation wise. And you can't understand where Airbnb is going without understanding Brian Chesky. And this quest for him in his own ways trying to connect with the world. And that manifests as experiences, that manifest as all the new things he's launching. That's why he doesn't want to launch like a random thing that doesn't result in human-to-human connection. And that's really at the core of why Airbnb is expanding these other verticals. Yes, there's the financial angle of core business saturated, complex, not saturated, but now very large. And investors are pressuring for more growth. All of that is true. You could argue that he's failed at anything beyond that over the last, 5, 6, 7 years. But as this iconic founder that is held in so much esteem in the world, personally, he's on this search. And I totally understand it. And that's what's leading to him thinking about each of these through, and if you read his interviews, there's a great article in Wired, a huge profile that posted yesterday by Stephen Levy, who is just a great writer, on this interview. But again, he doesn't sort of, beyond a certain point, if you don't know Brian or you don't understand the foundation of founders, it's hard to understand. But it really is the loneliness part, the community part. In a world that's more polarized, he feels that we feel that we're overwhelmed by all these digital channels as much as we may have family, etc. Just the disconnect from human-to-human connection is there. So that's very important to understand what Brian is trying to do. It's very much being a billion-dollar company with a board that he's responsible for. It's still his vision that continues there. And that is why the founder mode is sort of the thing that he became famous for, is very much the fact that I need to take hold of the company and whatever I'm in search for, I create businesses that sort of builds on that. So probably too metaphorical to fully make business sense, but unless you understand that, you don't understand where Airbnb is going, you don't understand what Brian Chesky's vision is. Hope this makes sense. I would love to hear your thoughts on this.